pointed in the direction of the storm. So maybe we could toss over to Ryan Swanigan in the weather shield, and then I can try and pull up velocity and see if we get some more information from that.
So can Ryan hear us? All right, Ryan, tell everybody where you're at.
I can go ahead if you're ready for me.
Yeah, tell everybody where you're at and what you're seeing.
Yeah, Kim, right now we're on it, just like, I don't know why I was driving this direction. I was just trying to get down to Highway 77 and basically where Hallam and Firth Roads meet, that intersection right there, and just kind of park it and just watch this line come in from the west. And all of a sudden, as we turned on the highway, turned off of 77, we're now going west towards the warning, towards Hallam, and right on cue, that's when it popped up. I'm looking, again, it's dark, it's night, you can't, obviously these things are very difficult to try and figure out, but hopefully with the lightning, and as we get to the crest of the hill here, I might just slow down and see. We've got a lot of corn on our left-hand side, so that kind of takes away our ability to really see this, but if we're pointed in the right direction, it should be somewhere in front of us, or perhaps as we get farther west, maybe off to our right. Again, we have only lightning to be able to try and see this. So
Ryan, I do want to say that it
pointed
is
right
difficult.
at this thing and going in this direction.
Ryan, I do want to say not only will it be difficult to see because of how dark it is outside, and maybe the lightning could flash it here and there, but Weather Service is saying that it's very rain-wrapped, and the rotation is tightened up into central Saline County, and it may not last long either. So that's some good news in that it might not last long. The bad news is that it's rain-wrapped, so even harder to see. So you got to be very careful driving out there.
That takes a dangerous situation and makes it even more dangerous. Dangerous because it's nighttime and very difficult to see. And in the weather shield, there we go. So if Ryan can hear us, Ryan, this is Ken. If you can tell me where you're at and what you're seeing out there right now, we'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah, Ken, we stopped. We basically stopped at a little just turn off here on West Hallam Road. We're in between Highway 77 and Hallam. While that tornado warning was going on, the sirens started sounding outside of the box area because Hallam was outside of it. We started hearing sirens, but obviously everything has gone away, and now we have the line that has been moving across really southern Nebraska from, almost by the McCook area, and it has finally made its way at least to our location here. It is absolutely pouring right now on West Hallam. I gotta say, guys, they're not as strong as what I was in the weather shield for almost 24 hours ago. The shield is just maybe moving around a little bit, and that's that's a lot better than what it was yesterday morning when we were hoping that we weren't going to get blown away in a parking lot. So right now we're taking it on here at just west of Hallam. I do want to give some updates in terms of the power outages too. We started this night, by the way, with 6,500 LES customers without power. That was the lowest point that we got to before all of this activity began. We are now up to 7,700 as there is a brand new outage around the 40th and Nebraska Parkway area, intermingled and intermixed, if you will, with all of these other outages from yesterday morning storms. Norris Public Power outage map looks like this. They have over 4,600 customers in their coverage area without power, including at least 2,000 in Thayer County alone, if not more there. I think all of Hebron might be without power, and now the outages are starting to go back up again in Saline, Seward, Lancaster, and Gage counties as well.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Stay safe out there. Appreciate all of the information that you've been and the Weather Shield have been passing along to us.
The Weather Shield, I think Ryan Swanigan has some new information for us. Ryan, tell us where you're at. Tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, guys, we were getting ready to move, and then all of a sudden, Then we started getting the high winds, and we're getting some pretty consistent strong winds from where our location is. And the interesting part about it is it's blowing from right to left. Our camera, let me move it again here. It's now pointed straight, pointed west towards Hallam. So we're still just to the east of Hallam along West Hallam Road. But our winds are going from right to left on the screen. And I think you can maybe see a little bit of the rain sheets coming across the road here. But the wind has really up in the last 5 minutes, and it is steady. And I would say this is probably the severe thunderstorm warning levels that, you know, that this storm we need to reach in order for it to be warned. And it has to be at least 55, probably 60 miles an hour. We're now starting to have the weather shield rattle and not shake as violently as yesterday morning, but it is way more noticeable than it was the last time that we chatted with you guys. And I think, gosh, even right now, I don't know how well you guys can hear me, because this is the consistency that we're seeing with these winds down here just to the east of Hallam. And again, it's almost a side wind at this point, coming from what basically is the northwest as this storm moves northeast. So pretty powerful part of the storm that we're in right now. I also do want to add too, as I'm looking at the Pulse Point app right now, and it looks like that Lincoln Fire and Rescue is already starting to have to respond to a couple of different instances where vehicles might be stuck in some water that's already starting to pool up around the entire flash flood warning that's around the capital city. So guys, it's obviously the winds, at least in our location, are definitely there, but the rain situation in Lincoln just is only going to get worse as this thing just kind of sits over Lincoln and just dumps water like we're seeing here and like what's going on in Lincoln.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Again, stay safe out there. Thank you for everything you're doing this early Sunday morning. Back out to Ryan Swanigan in the 1011 Weather Shield for the latest report from him. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, we're now just about ready to get back into Lincoln city limits. We finally were able to be freed, I guess, if you will, from our spot on West Hallam Road, just to the east of Hallam. The winds and the rain, everything finally just kind of moved along and moved away, obviously, into that severe thunderstorm warning box in southeastern Lancaster County. Adding to what you guys were just talking about with the rainfall rates, obviously north of O Street, Highway 34, and up by the airport and all that, that is the area where there were two instances where Lincoln Fire and Rescue had to respond to reports of vehicles stuck in water. One up at basically Northwest 12th and I-80, the other one up in the Highlands area. Nobody injured in that, thankfully nobody trapped, just some vehicles that got stuck in some water that was essentially from the rain that was coming down at, whatever rainfall rates were happening at that time for a consistent amount of time. So just adding to that, I also add to, and this is probably, at least for the LES side of things, the good news, and that we haven't really changed in terms of the power outages. Obviously, as I said, we started this overnight period at about 6,200 customers without power, and that number now has gone up, but has held at 7,700 LES customers without power. Cannot say the same thing though on the Norris Public Power side. It was just under 2,000 before all the severe weather started tonight. It is now over 5,000 Norris Public Power customers who are in the darks, over 700 in Lancaster County, almost 600 in Saline. Seward County is over 1,000 yet again. Thayer County is over 2,100 customers without power, and that probably includes all of Hebron as well, and they've been in the dark for a few hours now since the storm moved through them. But that's basically the update that we got right now from the Weather Shield, guys, as at least things in Lincoln in terms of the winds and whatnot, I think probably about gone. The flooding situation, it's going to take a while though on that front.
Ryan, if you can, let me ask you a quick question. I know you were out 24 hours
Yeah, go
ago.
ahead.
I know you were out 24 hours ago as well. I think the maximum power loss at one time was like, am I right? Was it like 32,000 people were without power?
33,000, yeah. For just the Lincoln Electric system alone, Norris Public Power, the highest I saw at one point from all of its coverage area was probably, if I remember this right, either 6,000 or 6,500. I can't remember which one, but it was above 6,000 for sure for the Norris side.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks again for everything you're doing out there. Stay safe, be careful, and we'll check in with you again a little bit later.
Toss things over to Ryan. Ryan, tell us what you're talking about, or what you're seeing in terms of the flooding update.
Yeah, guys, not too much. I won't take it too long here. I just am on, right now we're at 27th and Cornhusker, and we just got off of 180, took Cornhusker to here, and there is a lot of standing water on Cornhusker just to the west, well, basically in between 14th and 20th. It's also somewhat dark there because that's like apparently an area, one of the many areas in this city that still does not have power. And in fact, I'm looking off to the east of us down Cornhusker when it curves back to the northeast, and it looks like a large chunk of that area past, well, maybe about 33rd and Cornhusker area, all of that is still dark. In fact, I don't even see stoplights working at 33rd and Cornhusker now that I look more carefully. But standing water on Cornhusker as you curve to go straight east after going northeast, that's past 14th. So in between 14th and 20th, that's where it gets a little hairy if you're in a lower profile vehicle. Obviously, we're in the weather shield, so we're higher up, but it's going to be interesting to see what we come across here as we continue down Cornhusker. I've been thinking this the whole night about the 48th and Cornhusker Viaduct, just south of there, how that thing just fills up like a bowl so easily. So we'll check that out, and we'll see what the situation here is. But still power outages impacting the area, and now also with this flash flood warning and all the rain that's fallen, standing water in a lot of areas of town, at least in North Lincoln, guys.
All right, Ryan, thank you again. That's not a surprise with some of the radar estimated precipitation numbers that we've seen. The good news is it's